Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good morning, everyone. You're watching 7 minutes of nonstop local news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm RENEE SUMMEROUR, and thank you for watching 7 at 7 a.m. for Thursday, February 18th. Let's get started with our top stories this morning, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. Governor Steve Sisolak made a major announcement on the state's COVID relief plans, along with sports and education. He said that 65 and older will be eligible for vaccination starting next week. He also announced that full contact sports at Nevada high schools can resume practices and games. In addition, there will be some good news for schools.
I'm really excited that the new directive will allow school districts who have already been offering in-person instruction to some or all of their students for at least 20 days. The new directive will allow them to increase the occupancy capacity to 75%.
The new plan would also increase the capacity in school buses to 66%. In other news, a brush fire broke out Wednesday night at the Clark County Wetlands Park near Tropicana Avenue and Boulder Highway. According to the Clark County Fire Department, the blaze was reported at 7:05 p.m. and within 3 hours it had consumed 10 acres. The Bureau of Land Management was working with the fire department to control the fire. No injuries were reported and no buildings were threatened by the blaze. The drugs and weapons case against former Panic at the Disco bassist Brent Wilson will be handled by federal prosecutors now. Wilson's lawyer said that the case has gained federal interest due to his social status and notoriety as a founding member of the popular group, which fired him in 2006. Wilson was arrested in late January and has remained in custody at the Clark County Detention Center. He's facing 3 counts of possession of narcotics and 1 count of unlawful possession of a gun. In honor of Black History Month, the Mob Museum hosted a panel discussion Wednesday evening on the role African Americans played in the development of Las Vegas. The panelists included Brenda Williams, the first Black woman appointed to the city council, as well as David Washington, the first Black fire chief in Las Vegas history.
Just again, we have a great city. There's a lot of work yet to be done, but overall I think that Las Vegas is a nice growing metropolitan city that we can all be proud of.
KERKORIAN was the founder of modern Las Vegas. His bust is featured at Circa's Legacy Club, though it was reported stolen Monday night and has since been returned. Details of the theft were shared Tuesday night on Twitter. A video shared there showed the empty space where the bust was supposed to be, among other gaming legends. It was found later in a hotel room at the Four Queens. Now it's time to take a look at our local weather, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino and Spa. For your Thursday forecast, will continue to stay cool. You can expect sunny skies with a high of near 59 degrees. Clear skies for your evening with temps in the low 40s. Taking a look now at the rest of your week, temperatures will shift on Friday and the rest of the weekend, seeing highs back in the mid 60s. We may also see low to mid 70s by next week. In your business news, sponsored by the Vegas Chamber, the late Tony Hsieh was one of the biggest property holders in Las Vegas before his death last November. Jen Ah tells us what changes might be on the horizon for the properties. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning to you, RENEE. Before the former Zappos CEO died late last year, he had owned dozens of properties here in Las Vegas, most of them in the Fremont Street area. Now, the Review-Journal's Eli Siegel is reporting that the Hsieh family's attorney is looking to sell several of these properties.
There's really no guarantee that all these properties are going to be purchased anytime soon. You know, at some point down the road, if the owner decides to redevelop a property, then that could obviously impact a tenant.
Now, Hsieh was estimated to have a net worth of $840 million before his death. We'll have the full story on this posted on our website. RENEE, back to you.
In your health news, sponsored by 4M Dental Love Your Smile Again, one of the top executives at Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield Nevada is lending a hand to the COVID-19 vaccination effort. Dr. Amy LEVIN, medical director of Anthem, volunteered Tuesday at the Southern Nevada Health District headquarters to help roll out the vaccine. Our own Heidi Fang asked her what she would do if she were in charge of the vaccine rollout.
I think we need to ramp up production as much as possible, because we would like to be able to, of course, vaccinate everybody who wants a vaccine. And so I think working with the vaccine manufacturers to get as many doses as possible, as quickly as possible.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. For the second time in the past week, a report surfaced indicating that Golden Knights goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury is not an option for teams looking to upgrade in the net. It's widely known the Golden Knights shopped Fleury in the offseason after committing to Robin Lehner for 5 years and $25 million. So far this season, Fleury has outperformed Lehner, who is nursing an upper body injury. With the NHL trade deadline approaching, check out the Golden Edge podcast to stay up to date with all the latest Golden Knights news.
With this Thursday sports betting update, I'm Cassie Soto. The two favorites to win the NBA title square off tonight when the Los Angeles Lakers host the Brooklyn Nets. There was no line on the game yet because of questions about the status of Nets guard Kyrie Irving. Brooklyn forward Kevin Durant and Lakers forward Anthony Davis have already been ruled out. The Lakers are plus 250 favorites to repeat as NBA champions at the Westgate, and the Nets are next at 4-1. In their most recent games on Tuesday, the Lakers covered -6 and a 112-104 victory at Minnesota, and the Nets rallied to win outright as 8-point underdogs in a 128-124 victory at Phoenix.
In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Get Healthy Clark County, the Las Vegas Valley is not exactly Napa Valley, but it is possible to grow grapes here. UNLV professor emeritus Bob Morris has a tip: don't do your final pruning until freezing, dry, and windy weather has passed. That could mean waiting until the end of February or early March. Morris says that will reduce the chance of losing fruit to a cold snap. In your entertainment news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it seems Las Vegas is on a roll with its name changes. This time, we're talking about the Station Casino's dining operations. Here's a look at their new menu. Along with these new dishes, the 24-hour Grand Cafes at Red Rock Resort and Green Valley Ranch have been renamed Lucky Penny Cafe. And coming up in April, the remaining Grand Cafe locations will be converted to the Brass Fort Cafe brand. Well, that's all for today's 7 at 7 a.m. I'm Renee SUMMEROUR. Remember, you can get every bit of local news you need in 7 minutes with 7 at 7 from LVRJ.com and on the RJ mobile app. You can also find us on Roku, Apple TV, and much more. We hope you'll join us again this evening for 7 at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining us.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.